Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, and this is being taped for Monday. And it's a messy Monday in more ways than you can imagine, or maybe you can imagine. Today is Saturday, so this will be airing in 2 days, and this is the kickoff to the food season, as I keep bringing up ad nauseum. Shut up, will you? No, I won't. I don't want to see you guys maintaining the legacy of your past. That past, it's funny because we all have traditions, like around the holidays, or traditions with friends, like we always go to this restaurant, or we always get that, or we always split this appetizer, or I always buy a Honda because that's all I've ever had. We all have our own little checkpoints of legacy. Don't let being overweight and not being able to do anything about it be your legacy. Don't pass it down to your children. If you think that your children are going to have food issues because you've had food issues, it could be. It could be, not because of their DNA, but because we learn by example, and they always say that you identify most with the same-sex parent, right? So for females, it's especially tough, I know, because we could come from one of those mothers, or we could become one of those mothers, and we need to be extra, extra vigilant about how much they absorb, like me with other addictions as well. But I had sons, and they are more like their dad than me with a lot of things so far. But their wives, it's interesting because the wives seem to have the food part, not unlike me, and they've done well with their own journeys up until now, and they're both in their mid-30s. So anyway, don't become the legacy of, like, I can never lose, these programs don't work for me, I don't know why, you're lucky, maybe it works for you, but there's just no food plan that I can go on that's going to work. It takes a while. It takes maybe a lifetime. If you're in your 30s and 40s and maybe early 50s, you've still got a chance at doing this. It all began to fall into place for me at 64. And I'd had some success with other food plans. I had some very sick food plans. The eat nothing, drink diet. Yeah. Or I could call it the drink diet, because I was eating nothing. The calorie counting, the Weight Watchers, other programs. I remember vaguely at 14, my doctor prescribing speed to me. And so I lost 40 pounds on a eat nothing but McDonald's, French fries, and Tab diet. Yeah, that was successful. Take another speed pill. So we all come to maybe this channel with our own journeys, and sometimes the stories are kind of funny in review, and then sometimes they're just a sad continuation of trying to find ourselves along with finding a food plan. And if, in my case, being a food addict and being oh so sensitive about how much I weighed and the skinny girl gets the guy and all those sort of things, it stays with us, and it's really hard to shake. And so we always have this image of ourselves. I know this woman, and she's 50, and she kind of still sees herself as a 20-year-old, as a size 4, and instead of accepting the changes that come, and the changes do come. And then when I heard that after you have a baby, your rib cage expands, so the number before the cup size could get bigger, and it's like, wow, it's really not fair, right? So even if you were like struggling to maintain a torso of a certain size, suddenly being pregnant makes your ribs bigger, so you might have to be a bigger size. It's so cruel. So don't be don't be what that image is in your head of how it was for your mother, so it's going to be this way for you, or how it is for your sister, so it's going to be this way for you. You can break the cycle. That's what I hear in 12-step programs all the while. You can break the cycle. You don't have to hand it down. You don't have to be the one. You can change yourself with good, wholesome food. Finding the right combos could take a number of tries, though. So many of us struggle with what food plan is going to work. For some people, it's the Weight Watchers one. For others, it's a vegan one. For me, it's a low-carb, high-fat keto diet today. Who knows what can happen? All I know is that I'm satisfied in a way that I never was before with my food because of the fat. And here it is. This is taped for Halloween. So the messy Monday might not even happen until later after you've watched this tape. So maybe it can give you a greater resolve as you go through the day, and there could be more obstacles in the way than a usual Monday. The most dangerous part could be ahead of you instead of behind you, making it a messy Monday. So you could have a future messy Monday 6 hours from now as you attend the office party, or you go out trick-or-treating with your kids, and 1 for them, 2 for me, that sort of thing. Yes, kids, I take all of that's in your bucket and I will go through it just to make sure there's nothing dangerous there. Oink, oink. What mother alive didn't or isn't capable of doing that? Yep, I love those, so I'm going to keep some of those. Or the office party alone. I mean, it could just be such a pit for you, and you have to go and you have to wear a costume, and isn't this fun? But, I'm telling you, you can always CYA, the A being appetite, with your own food. And who cares if they say stuff to you? They just want company. So who cares? If you want to be strong, be strong. Write it somewhere. Cover it up with your shirt, I'm not caving today. The video that was on Saturday is not caving for the craving. And this is a continuation. If you're watching this Monday morning, you can still prevent the caving to the craving all day long. Don't let those obstacles get in the way. When I first joined Overeaters Anonymous, it was in the 70s. And so my sponsor was this great woman. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have pagers. We didn't have emails. We didn't have Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We had nothing. So it was very, very, very old-fashioned and very, very, very low information, technical, right? So I'd write down what I was going to eat for the day, and I'd call my sponsor, my food sponsor, every morning at 6:45. And I would tell her what I was going to eat for the day. And back then I was doing some sheet. I know they have gray and orange, and one was really, really strict, and the other one was like crazy. I'd starve and I'd eat my arm if I was on it. And so I'd call, and it would be like breakfast would be 1 egg, 1 ounce of cheese. Lunch would be 2 cups of salad, measured out. Who knows what the rest was, but it was very, very stark. And no fats. None. And yogurt wasn't as big as it is today, so that wasn't an option. I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember that usually I had 1 ounce of cheese and 1 egg every morning and just didn't think about it. Well, anyway, so I would give away, it was called giving away my food. And so as I was getting the concept of the whole just for today with my food, and one just for today that's successful, goes with another just for today that's successful, and before you know it, you've strung along 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, a month, a year of successful food abstinence. It was wonderful. But in the beginning, I had cravings for all of the, at that point I was addicted to candy. When I entered Weight Watchers two and a few months ago, my craving was cakes. So I was still in the sugar family, right? And so I'd tell her what item I wanted to eat. And she said, oh, you can have it tomorrow. And at first I fell for it. I went, I can? I can have that tomorrow? She said, sure you can. What are you going to eat today? And then, of course, by the end of the week, I was starting to get the concept that I could have whatever I wanted tomorrow. But she wouldn't let me get out of the day. And the day was a clean and abstinent food plan with Overeaters Anonymous. And little by slowly, I gathered tips, tricks, skills, along with food and nutritious food, what worked for me, what the difference between a carb and a gram of protein was, how come, and it all pieced together. And some of the tips were, don't eat while standing up. Dine. Don't just eat. No shoving in food. No standing over the buffet table, eating an entire bowl of chips with the Lipton onion soup mix dip. That was another favorite of mine. Yeah, I could get through a party. No, I couldn't. And so, the don't eat while standing, eat off of a plate, use a real plate, fork, napkin, real stuff, not paper, dine. And of course now, the tricks that I have, the tips that I have are always track, have the water. If I'm fighting a craving, have a glass of lemon water, and I can set the stove for 10 minutes, and maybe the craving is passed by then. If not, drive around. There's always, in case of emergency, you can pull this lever, and that lever would be something like a tablespoon of nut butter. But I never do that because I want to keep it clean. Clean, usually after 10 minutes of, the water, setting the stove, changing my head, changing my location, getting out of the kitchen, getting out of the house. Usually I get talked out of it, or I work my way out of it. And so the cleanness can continue until dinner. I like to keep the two meals enough of what keeps me going. And my window of time, that 5 hours between the first meal and the second meal, definitely are when the horrors happen. I don't think of food after dinner. After I put down my dinner plate, I have a couple of things that I do just to stop it. One is flossing. The next one is brushing my teeth. So it just never comes back into play, and I've done that. I know I've done that for like 15 years. So it's pretty much ingrained into the nighttime habit that I used to have. But that in between from after I eat my first meal at like 11ish in the morning until dinner, which is between 4 and 5, that's when a hungry horror could creep in. But I try to keep busy. I try to work around it. I know it's there, but I'm not entertaining. I'm not dancing with Ms. Slick over this. She's not going to win this one. And so don't get to the end of, after watching this on Monday, Halloween Day, hopefully you will make decisions, rational, logical, clean and abstinent with your food decisions. Knock everything out of the park with what it is that you have to do for a clean day. Having a Halloween party at work with all the CRAP, pack your lunch. Make sure it's got enough food in it with fat in it to carry you through. Worried about caving or craving? Go into the bathroom. Look into the mirror as if that's your BFF with food, best food friend, right, BFF, and just have a little talking to. Or do a what would Sarah do? Is there a smackdown there? Get a grip, girl. Get a grip, guy. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels or as clean and abstinence feels. Nothing. Don't let anything get in the way of your momentum and your motivation and your clean and abstinent food plan. It is so, so worth it. And if you can get a grip on it now, Halloween morning, just think you can breeze through the rest of this horrible food season for a food addict and just squint at it. There's another tip. Squint at it, avoid it. Don't sit down there next to the all the food on the table and just stare at it. I've done that. Scintillating conversation? Are you kidding? The one in my head about, am I going to have that piece of cake? I'll track it. It'll be a deal, I promise. I'll have just a normal serving. I'll tell them to cut it so I eat whatever it is and not a quarter of the cake like I want it. All those deals, and meanwhile a nice conversation's going on. I'm not hearing it. I'm just fighting my demons. So I'm no different than you guys if you guys are card-carrying food addicts. We can make it through. We can do it together. You can be strong. Whatever it takes, a rubber band around your wrist as you go to one of these parties, bringing in your own little cooler of goodies, You can take care of yourself. Who cares what they think about you? You want to be abstinent and clean. And say it's crazy. Tell me about it. Comment below. What happened for you? Be strong. I know you can. You know you can. You've done it before. You can do it again. Let's make it through this food season together, being clean and abstinent and on the other side of it. Nothing like it. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Bye-bye for now. No messy Monday.